Hello everybody and welcome to another list video here at Playing Board Games. Today I'm joined by Travis and we are going to be starting the first of a 6 video series about something that you guys have been asking for a very long time, which is what is the best player card expansion for me to buy? And the reason why we haven't made one of these videos is because the answer is it's complicated, right? Like it comes to a lot of different factors. So what we are doing, we're going to be doing a video where we're going to talk about each class. We're going to do it on an individual class basis. We're not starting with Guardian because we just ended Guardian week, so we're going to go the other way.
I was actually going to ask that. I was like, why are we doing Survivor first instead?
Yeah, we're going backwards.
Wow.
And then at the end of this, I'm going to do a video where I'm going to take all of this data from our 5 list videos and do kind of like a summary looking at just like generically what is the best box according to our rating, which, as we know, is always right.
Subjective.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, just so you all know, we're not going to be talking about the starter decks, the Investigator starter decks, because those are just like always great value. If you're looking for just a class, it's hard to go wrong.
Is the picture supposed to be crooked?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're not falling. You're not falling, Travis. Don't worry.
I don't like it.
But yeah, they're such good value. If you buy them all as a package, they're going to cost more than the expansion, but they're still just like the best way to just give yourself a big boost in your player card collection.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if there's one class in particular you really like.
Yeah, it's hard to like lose drawing one of these.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our number 9, which is the Forgotten Age.
Yeah, this one kind of sucks. You get a couple of decent cards, but the biggest hit from this one is 2 of the 6 cards here come from, or were reprinted in Stella's Investigator deck. You get both Take Heart and Live and Learn there.
Yeah. So
you don't need those. Stunning Blow is good. There isn't really another card that does that super effectively except for Daniela. And Perseverance is a really strong survivability card. Winging It is some nice clue compression, which is something that Survivor struggles with a little bit. Alter Fate is a great anti-mythos card. A great way to just like dump your 3 experience, but ultimately we kind of decided that you will have Will to Survive as well as a way to dump that experience in the Survivor class, and you don't necessarily need Alter Fate.
It also, Alter Fate kind of becomes worse when you're playing later campaigns as well. Like Circle Undone and Dunwich Legacy are some examples. So if you don't have anything Forgotten Age, like Alter Fate's going to do less in like the long term. Like it's still very good, but like when you just start out, if it's your first one, you're going to find yourself with limited campaigns doing it a little bit less. Additionally, while like the Winging It, Improvised Weapon, and Impromptu Barrier Cycle is very good with Wendy Adams, so like going off of this is really nice. The Investigator you do get in this box is Calvin Wright, and
that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. He is such he's a shoehorned investigator, even when you have a big collection, and it's even harder when you have a smaller one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on to number 8, we have the Innsmouth Conspiracy. So a pro for the Innsmouth Conspiracy is that you get a big package of Bless and Curse cards.
Yeah.
But a con for the Innsmouth Conspiracy is you get a big package of Bless and Curse cards. So there's less like crossover from cards working with other cards. It's very parasitic in ways with how the mechanic is approached for this one.
Yeah, you get like a nice little package, but that's kind of all you get.
Yes.
And it doesn't really branch out very well from there. It kind of does into the Hemlock, but again, the Survivor cards in Hemlock aren't so Bless-centric.
No. We have Mariner's Compass, which is actually like a very good tool to get clues. Also has some clue compression, which is very notable. Ancient Covenant is kind of like the payoff for the whole Bless thing, so that's why we included it here. Unrelenting is very good with Silas Marsh, who is the investigator that comes in this box, but also is still a playable form of card draw if you have a smaller collection. Spirit of Humanity is notable because it's good healing. Or if you're playing Blessed Curse, which comes in this box, it's notable. It's kind of like an archetype enabler all in of itself.
Yep.
And then we got the upgraded level 4 Dig Deep because that card is just like
It's just very
good. It's very good.
Yeah, talk about Silas. I think he suffers a little bit as well from not having a large collection.
Yeah.
There's not much in the way of weapons for him.
No. And like, yeah, one of the skills that he really likes, we just saw, was in Forgotten Age, right? So like, you need like to get like reach into other expansions to get like the real things you want for Silas. Yeah. Sweet. All right. On to number 7, which is the Circle Undone.
You get Rita in this one.
You do get Rita. Also, funnily enough, this was our number 6, and then we put the slide together, and we were like, I think this one's got to go up. It's got to go up a level.
Yeah, this one's, it doesn't deserve to be that middle of the road.
No. Track Shoes is a very nice card. You're going to find yourself actually just putting it in a lot of your Survivor decks when you actually do just get this card. Even if you only have like 3 foot, you're probably still going to just be like, yeah, I could run a 1 of or a 2 of Track Shoes.
Yeah, it's a great filler card or a way to balance out those investigators. Like if you have Dunwich Investigators, get to play 5 of a card and you're looking for that random 1 of to even it out.
Yeah. Active Desperation is a very powerful card. Probably one of the most impactful level 0 cards we've seen here, just like for what one card can do. Yeah. However, you don't really have like a good payoff weapon for this, or alternatively, you don't have Mark Harrigan yet. So if you have like Path to Carcosa, I think this one can go up a little bit higher in value if you're looking for like that kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't have the investigators who would really benefit from this.
Yeah,
which Yorick or Mark Harrigan, which both in Path to Carcosa.
Which is convenient. Convenient. Yeah. And yeah, like you do get a good gun in this cycle to use it. But you get you
get the old hunting rifle in this.
I'm talking about like even if you go outside of Survivor, just like general use case of it as well. Because like, but who's the investigator in Circle Undone? They're on the box now.
We mean
it's Carolyn. So Carolyn can't really take advantage of that. She can't. Yeah.
No.
Drawing Thin is a very powerful card if you're not playing with the taboo list, so it's very notable here. Tennessee Sour Mash is some good Mythos protection, and then we have Guiding Spirit because it is a pretty good card for its rate, but as I said when we were putting this together, if Guiding Spirit is here as a notable card, it's probably not a good selling point for it because the card is just good, but not great.
Yeah, this cycle has a lot of just okay cards, which is why it's kind of number 7, not right at the bottom, I think. And they do just fit into a lot of just generally playing Arkham, unlike the parasitic Blessed Curse mechanic from Innsmouth, so...
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think that, like, Track Shoes and Drawing Thin without Taboo are very notable, that they, like, push it over some of those other ones.
That's fair.
On to our number 6, we got the Path to Carcosa, which has probably one of the Survivor cards, when you get it, you're going to play it the most out of, like, all your other Survivor cards.
Every Survivor deck you ever build.
Yeah, which is resourceful.
Yeah.
But then you might be asking, why is it only number 6? Because, like...
The rest of the cards kind of suck.
Yeah, the rest of the cards kind of suck. Exactly that.
True Survivor is really good.
True Survivor is really good. You can do a loop. There's a combo built in just there.
It's really good because it gets back resourceful.
Exactly. Yeah. Cherished Keepsake is playable. It goes up in value with Will York, who is the Survivor investigator in the box. Test of Wills, Mythos Face Protection. Madame LeBranche is...
just a solid ally.
Yeah, solid ally. Goes up in value, too, if you do have Dark Horse.
Which is good, because the allies in the core set for red suck.
They suck. They have Aquana.
Yes, it's Aquana.
And Stray Cat.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
But Stray Cat's an event. Stray Cat is like just an event you set and forget.
Yeah.
And then we also have Newspaper 2 here, which is a fine flex tool, and survivors are really good at flexing, so you can go out.
It also plays really well with scavenging.
Yes. Yeah. Which you do have in the core set. Yeah.
I think something else notable about this cycle is you do get Min as your off-color red survivor. That's one of the strong points of Path Carcosa, is while the player cards have high highs and low lows, the investigators are all very good.
Yes, yeah, because in Survivor you have Bill York as main and Min is the off, and there are, and Lola's there too.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. The other 5 make up for it. They're all like super, super legit. Yeah. All right. Now, going on to our number 5, which is the Feast of Hemlock Vale, the most recent one at the time of recording. If you're watching this in 2027, you're like, how did they forget about like the burning sands of the desert? Well, it hasn't come out yet. But this is a nice package with Matchbox is just general way to lower shrouds, Sparrow Mats for some protection, Long Shot for more damage, Hatchet for more damage, but we're going to put a little pin in that. We're going to come back to Hatchet.
Yeah.
Hunting Jacket and Dark Horse, as well as Dark Horse is also here to represent Fire Axe level 2 and Mariner's Compass 2 to...
You have a nice little Dark Horse package in this box.
Yeah. And then we also got Survival Technique, which is just a good card for treacheries, which you're going to face a lot of in the earlier like core set stuff. There's some locked doors. This can help you through it. The top action, you need to get a bigger collection, but it is still notable.
Yep.
But Travis, with Hatchet, why did we put Feast of Hemlock Vale down here?
A big part of why this one is here is because the survivor cards in this cycle, notably the Hatchet and the Pitchfork, and to a lesser extent Hank, a little bit Hunting Jacket and Pelt Collection. They're all like good cards, but they do require a bit more skill and know-how to play effectively. You can kind of screw yourself pretty easily playing them if you're not careful.
100%.
And especially if this is like your first Investigator expansion you're gonna get, that adds a lot of, or just another layer of sort of mental burden onto the game that you probably don't need while you're still getting comfortable with the rules.
Yeah.
So
100%. Hank, I think, is luckily though a pretty straightforward investigator, and I think you get a lot of good tools in here. And he's also like, his number can go to 6, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you are playing Hank, where you're like, my punch is 6, super easy.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
If you're trying to build a Hank deck that can go either or, then there's a little bit more nuance there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, going on to our number 4, we have the Scarlet Keys. This one, I'll just say, I'll preface this by saying this is the customizable cards. We have 2 here, Pocket Multi-Tool and Grizzled. Those do have added complexity. But I think that these ones are pretty good, especially when you have a smaller collection. Like you said, Pocket Multi-Tool is really nice when you don't have as many things competing for your hand slots because you have a smaller collection.
Yeah, these 2 in particular don't, I think, suffer quite as much as some of the other customizable cards do because you build them to do a specific thing and then they do that, right?
Yeah, they're not just generically.
Yeah, Grizzled, you put the trait of the thing that you care about on it, you're like, and then you only care about it in the context of drawing those cards.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And Pocket Multi-Tool has a similar thing where, you upgrade to be, we're better at doing fight tests or whatever, and then so you only care about when you're doing fight tests.
Yeah.
As opposed to having a bunch of branching decision paths.
Exactly. End of the road, really playable level 0 card. Shadow Light is... you have Flashlight in the core set, and Shadow Light is like the payoff and also like the enabler in a way of your the tested 0 package. Underneath it, there's also Old Keyring 3, which is also just insane, especially because you do have Scavenging in your core set.
Yeah.
At a Crossroads and also Belly of the Beast are the 2 dilemmas that we thought are particularly playable in this one. Gumption helps with the tested 0, and also just like when you have a smaller collection, just even an additional Unexpected Courage in a way can be very helpful.
Or even a better Unexpected Courage.
Yeah. And then an upgraded baseball bat for just another weapon that you can fight with. And I'll picture here, there's also a way to... maybe that's Edge of the Earth. Scratch that. Okay. Scratch that. That's gone from the record.
You get Daryl as your survivor investigator here, who is a great...
Insanely good, yeah. Is there anyone else that splashes in this that's notable? No. But... I think so. I mean, well, there's Vincent Lee, but not. The Daryl is very, very good. Like, and you're gonna have it's gonna be hard to have a rough time with him, even if you just have Core and Scarlet Keys.
Yeah.
All right, on to our top 3, and I think these 3 are any ones that get like my stamp of recommendation. If I had to pick one, it'd be any of these 3.
Yeah, whichever one of these 3 you can buy.
Yes, yeah. Which one is readily available to you, or alternatively, which survivor investigator you like the most of these 3.
That's probably the biggest variation between the 3.
Yeah. All right, going to the first one we got, the Dunwich Legacy. Yes, the first cycle released is still a very good first package for Survivor, and also realistically probably most of the investigators. It was designed in tandem with the core set, and you can definitely see it. You see like the
really fills it out.
Exactly. We have Duke here to represent Ashcan Pete, because he's probably the best small collection Survivor you can play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like with a large collection, Duke is a very good investigator. It's a very generic sort of play patterns. You have the discard synergies you can take advantage of. You have good defensive stats, and with your 4 brain and 3 foot, you can fight and investigate reasonably well.
Yep.
It really, like Ashcan Pete and Duke really are just a very good investigator for playing Survivor.
Yes.
You can take any of the packages and kind of jam them in there, and you'll have a good functioning deck.
Yeah, and I think what's also really nice about Ashcan Pete, to go off what Travis is saying, even looking back at like Forgotten Age, our number 9 ranked one, the package of the Winging It, the improvised weapon, even just like things like that, there's going to be something in each cycle that is just going to like shoot up in value for you because you can like take advantage of those cards in a different way.
Yeah, if you like playing Ash Campy, it doesn't matter what other cycle you get. There's going to be cards that you're going to be like, yeah, I could try this out, and they will probably be pretty good.
Yep. Fire Axe, we saw the upgraded version. This is the level 0 version. Still incredibly playable because the only difference between the two is basically that the new one's fast.
Yep.
Like that's all the changes. Peter Sylvester, which is
it's like the survivor ally.
yeah, very good. Make sure you
guy.
never die. It's one of those things that he'll take so much stress off of you when you're playing, which will allow you to kind of just have a better time because he's just going to make it you die less. Flare, which can help you find a Peter Sylvester, or just a really good tool to kill enemies with.
Yeah, Flare's just like a really good card in general.
Yep. Rise to the Occasion is it's a skill card that'll get you value. Scrapper is a permanent that can give you fist or foot. And then there's the Dark Horse package, which we see with Fire Axe and also like Scrapper you can take advantage with. It's something that you can just like go kind of on the rails with, even if you have just Dunwich Legacy for your collection.
Yep. And it is a little unfortunate if you remember back, the Mariner's Compass, the clue part of this one is back in Innsmouth Conspiracy. But that's okay because we played Dark Horse happily.
Yeah.
For like 6 years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, the reality is that, like, you don't really miss it because Duke actually gets you enough value still. Because just that ability to move is kind of like getting an extra clue, but not really.
It's like investigating extra time, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, on to number 2, which is Edge of the Earth. Yes,
Cycle's juiced.
it's juiced. It's a very strong cycle. The reason that I think this happens is because it was the first of the new re-release of the format. So they're like, this is going to be a new point that a lot of new players are going to get into, so let's load it with powerful cards.
New entry point. I think that was also probably why they elected to go with a multi-class theme for it, just to ensure there's lots of deck building options between the different classes.
100%, yeah.
Though I'm a little bit confused about the upgrading for the investigators.
Yes,
That's
it
a
is.
little on the complicated side.
It is, yeah. Speaking of the investigators, because we got this, even though Bob Jenkins is the survivor investigator on the tin, we're actually looking at Daniela Reyes because she upgrades into the survivor cards.
I mean, Bob still gets some.
Yeah, he still gets Schaffners and all that.
Very well.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Danielle's going to play with like some of the stuff that you have. And she actually also, if there's one investigator who can make Aquana playable, because you do have one for her in your revised core set, it would be Daniela.
It would be, yeah.
It would be.
I think you've tried that.
I've tried it, and it wasn't great.
No,
Yeah,
I remember that. It wasn't good.
No. But you have Short Supply, which is a really nice survivor permanent that will also just get better. Like, if you wanted to buy, like, you're interested in Will Yorick, this is a really good reason. If you're going to buy this, then do Path to Carcosa. There's, like, kind of like cascading effect. Schaffner's Catalog is just going to be economy that you can use all over the place.
And sometimes get back.
Yep. Bandages. Don't die.
Yep, that's
Yep.
good. Not dying is good.
Fire Extinguisher, Sledgehammer are here as like additional like weapons that you actually are now good and playable in Survivor that you can actually fight with.
You mean the baseball bat level 0 isn't an end game or end campaign weapon, Justin?
It is not. No, it is a piece of your
What?
ever-moving puzzle. It actually took a long time for Survivor to start getting like consistent like experienced weapons. Most of the time you're like, I'm gonna make this fire axe work all the way.
I remember we were excited when like Meat Cleaver and old hunting rifle came out. It was like
Yeah. Dauntless Spirit is just some good mythos-based protection, but also can be used actively because it does give you fist or brain, depending on which other one you're not using. Plucky is, honestly, all the composures are super playable cards. They're fast, level 0. Especially when you're early on, you'll have less to upgrade, so it's going to feel really nice.
The other one's like so.
Yeah, the other one's kind of just basically for
like
Joe.
not really what you're looking for.
Yeah. Ice Pick can work really well with Wendy Adams because she can scavenge it back really well.
Who can scavenge things back works really good
yes.
with Ice Pick.
And then you can also see hanging out right next to me, we also included an extra card, Earthly Serenity. Healing with your brain is really nice.
Yeah.
That cycle is really good. It's very good.
Not that Earthly Serenity is worse than these cards, but there was only 8 slots on the side.
Yes, so we had to throw in an extra one, yeah. All right, and if you're watching this video because you have all of the cycles already and you know what number 1 is, thanks for joining us. I'm really
it's
happy
nice
to
to watch. I hope you enjoyed it.
But here is our number 1, which is Dream Eaters. Wow. Let's just take a moment and look at these cards because they're insanely good.
Yeah, this is actually like almost every card.
It is,
like,
yeah.
I think there's 2 or 3 that are in the cycle that aren't here.
Yep. there's not much we don't see.
Yeah, this cycle is full of just bombs.
Yep. First up, Miss Doyle. She gives you a lot of versatility in how you want to, like... She just basically makes every stat can be viable, depending on what you get.
Yeah, for the people who don't know what Miss Doyle does, because she's bonded and the bond cards are here.
Yeah.
She gives you these, like, 3 cats, and you can play them. You can only have one play at a time, and then there's one of them for fist, book, and foot, and you can use them to test at 5 for that stat, or you can discard them to automatically succeed, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, yeah, you can also recurse them back. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Miss Doyle, we're going to pause here. The biggest knock against Dream Eaters is that your investigator is Patrice. And she is very hard to build with a limited collection. We know this because we tried to build her with 3 cycles, and you're just like, there's not enough stuff here. I got to pivot to somewhere else. So that is notable about this one. However, the player cards are so good that any future survivors you get are just going to get a huge boost from this.
Yeah.
Jessica Hyde is like Pete Sylvester, where instead of healing horror, she's healing damage, and she gives you a fist, which is really nice. Scrounge for supplies can grab back level 0 cards like Resourceful. We have Brute Force and Sharp Vision.
An Expeditious Retreat, kinda.
But it is still playable. Like, it's not here, but it's still a very good card.
Yeah, it's just not as universally good as these two.
Yeah, so these cards just make your investigate and your fights insane. And when you get these, especially Brute Force, this is going to be your number 1 card when you do get Resourceful that you're going to be bringing back all the time. It's just like that damn good. Nothing Left to Lose is insane economy. You draw until you have 5 cards in hand. You gain resource till you have 5 resources.
Yeah, it's... Thank God they remembered to tack on remove from the game.
Yeah, thank God.
Imagine if you could get that back from Resourceful.
No, I don't want to imagine that.
You're playing Wendy, and you're just like, I'll just pass my test until I run out of cards, and then drop again.
Yeah, it's insane. Nightmare Bauble, which is auto fail protection, which you do have in your core set in the form of Eucatastrophe, but being able to do it 3 times in a scenario is realistically the number of auto fails you're going to draw in a scenario. This is also especially nice if we get into like the mental of the game. If you're a new player, I know the auto fail hurts you more than you want to admit.
Yeah.
But having a way to just say no to it is really good. I also just played this card again for the first time in like 2 years, and it's really good.
It is.
It's just like really good.
Yeah. I think a couple other good points for it is that it takes the accessory slot, which there isn't much competition for in the
just
core
the
set.
rabbit foot.
And also, it's a very... You don't feel bad about buying the second copy because it's a very solid thing to recur with scavenging, both to just, like, replay
I think you can only get 1 in your deck. It's a limit.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
But you can still recur with the scavenging and, like, commit for a guts and a pinch and then get it back later.
Yeah, 100%.
Here's scavenging.
Scavenging, that's a perfect segue into
That's
it.
the guy.
Upgraded version is... still, like, the level 0 scavenging is still insanely good, where if you don't know about the taboo list, this now costs 4 and level 0 costs 2.
Scavenging the best card in the game, Justin?
I do think so. It probably is.
I think so.
Right? I think it is. Like, the level 0 one, I even think, like, the level 2 is nice, but, like, most of the things you're scavenging back are, like, fast.
Yeah.
Or cost 1, and you just get so much value out of it.
We build Baron, it's so degenerate.
It's so degenerate, yeah. We also have Glimmer of Hope hanging out up here.
Yeah, it's a really solid level 0 card.
It is. I do think this one, unlike Early Serenity, this one is worse than the cards we have here.
Yeah.
But it is still, you'll find it surprisingly relevant, especially because you have Wendy Adams in your core set. She plays this card really well because it's basically just 3 token redraws.
Yep. I think this one's also really important for Dream Eaters as like a collection building cycle, where it's just a solid level 0 card that fits into any survivor deck.
Yep.
And on top of that, it's like 3 of them.
Yes. Yeah. Which is incredibly relevant because, like, sometimes you're like, what do I put in my deck? I'm going to put in this card that I don't want to play, and this means you have to play 1 less of them. While they're not, like, going to do amazing things, they're still going to be more consistent than they seem.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That is our first of these videos. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope this helped with the Survivor ones. Again, there's a lot to chew on for this, but I think this is a format that hopefully we got it good for all of you. The next one's going to be Mystic, which is...
I like Mystics.
Mystics, I mean, like, honestly, most Mystics, they're pretty good because you get, like, a cycle of stuff for them each time. Like, that's...
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time, yeah. So, we'll see you all for the next one of those. Except Carcosa, but we won't worry about that. We won't worry about that. Carcosa is a weird expansion.
Yeah.
We talked about it a bit here. It's It's, as you called it, it's an expansion.
Yeah.
I also feel that way about Circle Undone. It's
That's
kind
fair.
of the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, a GG's.